Smile Dog. Smile Dog began in the early days of the internet when a simple image, smile.jpg, was posted. The image featured a Siberian husky with a human-like grin. It seemed harmless at first, but people who viewed the photo reported feeling uneasy, then started seeing it in their minds, over and over again. The creature demands one thing: spread the word. You have to share the image with someone else, or something terrible will happen. The longer a person takes to share the photo, the more demon-like the image becomes. Many who ignore the warning find themselves receiving a mysterious package in the mail with another copy of the photo. If they don't pass it on, they say they disappear without a trace.
Spread the word. The Smile Dog.
Jeff the Killer. Jeff the Killer can be traced back to 2005, a 13-year-old kid known as Jeffrey Woods who moved into a new neighborhood with his family. A normal boy. After a brutal run-in with bullies at school, his brother Lou took the fall for Jeff's actions, landing him in jail. Jeff fell into depression, but the bullies weren't done. They attacked Jeff with bleach and later set him on fire. When Jeff woke up in the hospital, his face was burned, white as snow. But Jeff didn't cry. He laughed. He whispered to the doctor, "I like it this way." That night, Jeff made a smile on his face, a permanent grin. He burned off his eyelids so he could always see. His mother found him, horrified. She begged her husband to stop him, but Jeff heard her. He stabbed them both to death. Jeff whispered to them, "Go to sleep." Jeff now roams the night, hunting those who refuse to sleep. He's a nightmare, and with every victim, his eerie, rasping voice echoes,
Go to sleep.
Red Mist, also known as Suey Squidward, begins with a never-aired episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, an episode that was never meant to exist. It was said to have been created by a now-imprisoned animator named Andrew Skinner. The episode begins innocently enough. Squidward is in his room, preparing to practice his clarinet, while outside, SpongeBob and Patrick laugh and play. Squidward, as usual, struggles with his instrument, and when the laughter becomes too loud, he yells at the two to be quiet as he's preparing for an important concert. Yet, what follows isn't the typical SpongeBob nonsense. During his performance, the crowd turns on him, booing with hate. Even SpongeBob and Patrick, who are usually cheerful, join in. Squidward later returns home, sad and alone. As he enters his house, he cries, mixed with screams, then stares at the viewer while his eyes become red and human-like. In the end, Squidward chooses to end it all. The episode was never aired, and there were never any answers found.
Do it.
Slenderman. Slenderman's story begins online in 2009 when people on a forum called Something Awful made him up as part of a creepy story contest. It started with a simple image, an edited photo of a tall, faceless man with long, unsettling limbs, standing in the background of a group of children. Many believe his existence stretches far beyond that, across centuries and cultures, hinted at in ancient cave paintings and historical myths. A tall, faceless monster who stalked and kidnapped children. Slenderman wasn't bound by reality. He could travel through shadows, control minds, and lead his victims into twisted forests where they were never seen again. Thanks to video games, shows, and movies, Slenderman is an iconic creepypasta legend. Laughing Jack. Laughing Jack's story begins in the 1800s, when a guardian angel created him as a magical, colorful Jack-in-the-Box clown. Gifted to a boy named Isaac, Jack became his best friend. However, as time passed and Isaac was sent to boarding school, he abandoned Laughing Jack, which caused his colors to fade and his heart to turn dark. Isaac grew up to become a serial killer and became the reason for Jack's transformation. He became a monster, consumed by hatred and a thirst for revenge. One day Jack was accidentally released, seeking revenge on Isaac for abandoning him. He ended Isaac with the same weapons he used on his victims. He's a demonic entity with terrifying powers, teleportation, invisibility, and the ability to create nightmares. Jack's methods are horrifying. He hangs family pets, trashes homes, and offers candy or false hope before striking. For those who cross his path, the laughter never fades. Candle Cove. Candle Cove's story was written in 2009. The story said that Candle Cove started in the late 1970s as a children's television puppet show. Originally, it was titled Pirate Place and it was meant to be a simple puppet show about pirates. The man behind Candle Cove was Emerson Grimes, a cruel and unstable man who had other plans. As production went on, his ideas on the show grew more bizarre, and his obsession with immersive horror took over. The story was allegedly based on an old tale called The Knickerbocker's Tale, written by a man named Colin Colcrey, who vanished soon after his daughter went missing. The director, Emerson Grimes, changed the scripts, making the show scarier. One of the most infamous characters was the Skin Taker, a skeletal puppet with a jagged grin. Played by actor Michael Colin, the character was initially designed as a quirky pirate villain, but the Skin Taker's behavior became deeply disturbing. Emerson Grimes pushed his cast and crew to their limits. He forced them to work in terrible conditions. And then there was the final episode. Grimes ordered everyone to scream. The actors cried, the set was destroyed, and Michael Colin, the man behind the Skin Taker, began to bleed, though no one could explain why. People who grew up watching Candle Cove began sharing memories online. They swore they had seen it as children, but when they searched for proof, there was nothing. Some say it was just static on the TV, or a trick of the mind. Others swear they saw it clear as day. The Rake is a terrifying humanoid creature that first emerged in 2005 on 4chan's, created by an anonymous user who described a monster with pale, grayish skin, large eyes. The creature was originally named Operation Crawler, but it would later be known as the Rake, a name inspired by its deadly claws. The Rake has been often seen stalking its prey at night, often spotted near suburban homes or in wooded areas. It appears suddenly at the foot of a sleeping victim's bed or lurks in the shadows, silently watching. If approached, it would attack with relentless speed, but often it does nothing at all. It simply watches, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. It's rumored that the Rake could have once been human, or it was an alien. But even so, when you see the Rake, you know it's already too late. Ben Drowned. Ben Drowned is an entity that originates from a cursed copy of Majora's Mask for the Nintendo 64. A user named Jaducible discovered this haunted game after buying it at a garage sale. He finds a save file named Ben, but decides to create his own, and as he plays, the game starts to glitch and distort, pulling itself into the real world. The curse is connected to the story of a boy named Ben, who drowned in real life. His spirit is believed to be trapped in the game, haunting anyone who dares to play it. As Jaducible plays through the game, he is tormented by strange occurrences, characters calling him Ben, glitches that seem to defy the game's logic. Ben is driven by anger and revenge. He manipulates the game and the people who play it, always lurking in the shadows, never fully showing himself. Those who encounter him are never the same, driven mad or lost in his digital nightmare. So yeah, that's my tier list. Let me know in the comments who you think is the most iconic creepypasta.